Hey guys, it's Rachel with Be Healed Dog Training. I'm going to talk for a few minutes about some kenneling protocols, specifically exiting the crate. It's really important to teach your dog how to properly exit the crate. And what that should look like is the dog waits to be released from the crate. And I get asked a lot about how to teach the dog to do that. It's actually a really simple concept. You just want to make sure you stay really consistent with this. This is Maggie. Maggie arrived today, really about an hour ago. This is going to be the first time that I take her out of the crate since the last time I worked with her. Actually, this is the first time I've taken her out of the crate at all since she's been here. So, if I open the door right now and allow her to just come out of the crate, chances are she's going to be running around, acting goofy. I don't have her on a leash yet. I'm going to have to wrangle her. I'm going to have to get her settled down. She may jump on me. One of the reasons, or the biggest reason that we want to teach the dog to wait to exit the crate is because it basically in that moment immediately gets that dog's brain slowing down and paying attention to you right off the bat, and it just helps to set the tone for them coming out. It's a leadership exercise. So the idea again is to get the dog to kind of pause and check in with you instead of just rushing out of the crate and doing whatever it is they do, running around, jumping on people, being silly, getting into things they shouldn't get into. So, again, the procedure for this is really simple. All I'm going to do is open the crate door, and if she tries to rush out, which I'm going to assume she will, I'm going to close it again very, very quickly. If you end up popping your dog in the nose with it, don't worry about it. You're not going to hurt them. Dogs pop their nose a lot harder when they run into stuff when they're out playing. It's not a big deal. But basically, I'm going to open and close until I get her to actually pause. And I'm making the door opening not meaningful to her. And that's what I want. I want the door of the crate being opened to not mean anything. What should be meaningful is when I release her. And I'm going to use a release word for that. I like to use the word break. And she doesn't know what that word means yet. So this is the very first time we've done this. That way you can see how to teach it. So I'm going to start, my leash is over here. Obviously, it's not on her. She tries to rush out, I close the door. And I'm not saying a word. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying stay, because I want this to be an automatic, assumed thing. I want, eventually, the dog to just automatically wait. So I don't want to give a command that says wait. I just want her to learn that anytime I open the door, it's going to close right again. Good. Good. And you notice I'm not going to praise really excited either, because that would be pretty counterproductive. If I say, oh, good girl, good job, she's going to try and rush out of the crate and get all excited. I want to keep her nice and calm. Good. So now that I have her pausing, it makes it a lot easier for me to put my leash on versus if I let her come out, she's dancing around and she can get away from me. I'm going to start by putting my leash on. Now this doesn't mean that permanently now and forever when I let my dog out of the crate, I'm always going to put a leash on. But for a while, until I know that I've got the respect from the dog and that she's going to be obedient, I'm using my leash during our work. Now I always expect that when I first go to put the leash on, when I'm doing these kenneling protocols, a lot of dogs in that moment, that's when they'll start trying to rush out again. So initially you get the dog understanding and pausing at the door, and then you reach to go to put your leash on and suddenly they try to get out again. So be prepared for that. All right, so I've got that on. So again, got my leash in my hand. I want to be prepared for her to try to rush out now that she's got it on. And if they do, no big deal. Now you've got a leash, so if the dog manages to get past you, just put them right back in. Like that. It's like I knew. She got me. She's an 80-pound dog, so especially if you've got a bigger dog, sometimes they just push out. A little dog, sometimes they'll slip right past you. It's not a big deal. You're just going to put them back in. Good. And basically expect that anytime you change something, they're going to assume they can come out. So I'm going to stand up in a moment, and when I do, chances are she's suddenly going to try to rush back in. Nope. Good deal. Good. Good. Break. So what I did there, and she's still rushing around, but now I've got my leash on to help keep it from getting out of hand. So what I did there is, since the word break doesn't mean anything to her yet, I said the word break and I gave her some leash pressure. So as we repeat this, she's going to learn that break means she can come out. So it just took me a couple minutes to, and part of this is because I'm talking to you, but yes, it takes longer to let my dog out of the crate when I do this, but it doesn't take this long every time. Really, it's only going to take a few repetitions. By tomorrow, she's already really going to be getting this, and I might have to open the door a few times, but it's not going to be as much as today. And if you do this consistently, every time you let your dog out of the crate, most dogs pick it up in a day or two, they've pretty much got it. And then you can, from there, you can get it to the point that you can walk across a room eventually and open the door, and it means nothing to the dog. But this is just step one, how to teach it. So I'm going to do one more time. Let's go. Kennel up. Good girl. Get our leash situated here. Close the door. Approach my kennel. Make sure I've got my leash in my hand in case she busts past me again. Good. Close the door. She made a move to come out. Good. And I want to be able to move around here without her assuming that she can come rushing out of the crate. Break. Good job. So that's how you teach it. Again, just do this consistently. Your dog will pick it up in no time. Break. Good girl.